Hello Stitchy friends, welcome back to Bumble Stitches. My name is Nicola and this is Flosstube number 42. It's Sunday the 2nd of July and as you can see it's another beautiful day. Not quite as hot as it has been, which suits me perfectly. I'm really not made for the hot weather, so it's a much more pleasant temperature, a bit of a breeze, and very much appreciated. We've even had some rain this past week, which the gardens were desperate for. So I hope you've all been keeping well since I saw you last, and I've got quite a few things to share with you today. I hope the way the sun's coming through isn't causing any problems, and I do have the water on. Quite a few of you said last time that you quite liked the sound of the fountain in the background, so I've kept it on. I popped some footage at the beginning of the video, just of a little walk that Alfie and I did this morning, a little snippet of Enzo, who is turning 1 at the end of this month, which has absolutely flown by, and just a few little stitchy pictures, so I hope you liked seeing those. And there's been a special request for Alfie to make an actual appearance on the Flosstube, so if he's not too tired, when I get to the end I'll get him in here just to say hi. He's a little bit tired. He had a play date yesterday with Milo and a long walk this morning, and he's starting to walk off lead as well now and stay quite close to me, so it's really enjoyable for both of us. Okay, shall we get on with today's episode? I've got a couple of questions from the last video, which was number 41. Sue asked, this is Sue9353, asked about getting creases out of the fabric that I'm stitching on when you have been using a hoop, and I do stitch in a hoop. I think her question was more aimed at if the fabric is over, you know, it's hand-dyed fabric and getting it to wet or causing any problems with the dyeing. I can say that every fabric that I've used so far in my stitching journey, I've had no problems whatsoever with using a good old shot of steam from my iron, and I also give it a little bit of a spray just with a water spray if the hoop marks are a little bit stubborn, and so far so good. That seems to be working out well, so I hope that's answered your question, Sue. The other question was from Alice Ortween. I hope I'm saying your name right, Alice. And she asked how I stitched the lace onto this Happy and Glorious pillow that I shared with you last time. And you can see, so that's the lace flat, and it's been stitched, hand stitched down the middle and gathered. I actually followed a tutorial that was put on YouTube by Misty Purcell of Luminous Fibre Arts. And she actually shows you how to do that with 2 colours of ribbon, and I've just sort of adapted that technique, and I've used it quite a few times now. So I will pop a link down in the description box below if you want to check that out. It's a really nice finish if you don't want to put chenille on, but you do want to put something on and you don't want to have that fiddly, sometimes if you sew it into the pillow when you're making it on your sewing machine, I find that can be a bit fiddly to get the you know, the gathers right and make it look really pretty. I think you've got a little bit more control when you hand stitch it. So do check that video out and give it a try, but thank you for your questions. I'll just pop that down there. I also wanted to, and it's been very remiss of me, and I will start doing this more frequently, I wanted to just do a little thank you and a shout out to some people that have recently bought me a coffee on my coffee account, and they are Joe H, Sue S and Red Hill Needlework Sharon. So thank you all very much, ladies, for your kind donation. It does help me with the postage of the giveaways, especially as I like to keep them international. So if you did fancy buying me a coffee, you can do that using the link below in the description box, and I thank you very much if you can. Right, okay, I'm going to jump into the stitching now, but the first thing I'm going to do, in case I forget, is I'm going to pop a little video in here now, just a very short little snippet, and this is an FFO that I completed and I alluded to in my last video and showed a very tiny little sneaky peek, and it was actually a little pillow finish that I did as a birthday present for my lovely friend Paula, whose birthday it was in June. So I know that Paula had a lovely birthday and she was very happy with her present, and it was a pleasure to stitch it for her. So I'll pop that little video in here now. So now that Paula has received her gift, I'd like to just share with you this little pillow that I stitched for her birthday, and I'm really pleased with how it turned out. So as you can see, it's just a simple small pillow. This is a chart by Heartstring Samplery, and it's a token for my friend, and I've stitched this on 36 count grey by Weeks Dye Works in all the called for flosses, and finished it off with some ruffled ribbon trim there and some fabric from my stash which I thought went really well. And I've filled it with some fibre fill in the corners and a little bit of crushed walnut shells in the middle, just to give it that nice sort of squishy feeling. And I finished it by just leaving a gap at the bottom and sewing it up afterwards. So these are the flosses that I use. They were all the called for, some Weeks Dye Works, a Gentle Arts and a DMC that I substituted, and that's the chart there. And this has a companion piece which is by Paulette Stewart of Plum Street Studios. So yeah, hopefully Paula enjoyed her birthday gift, and I hope you had a lovely birthday, Paula. So that was the little secret project that I couldn't show you in full on the last video. Okay, so I hope you liked seeing that. It was, as I said, it was a pleasure to stitch, it really was, and I used the same technique on the ribbon on that pillow as I used on the Lace for Happy and Glorious, the tutorial from Luminous Fibre Arts. Okay, I do have a couple of finished objects, but not fully finished. Well, actually, I'm telling fibs. I've got a fully finished sewing project to share with you today, which is a project bag that I made to keep my red, white and June stitch along goodies in. So I made this project bag using, I completely raided my stash of Tilda scraps. I've been hoarding this last little piece of this dark blue, this sort of navy floral colour here for ages. I just think it's so pretty. And of course this is my sort of Tilda interpretation of the American flag, which I thought would be appropriate for the red, white and June stitch along. And I just completely raided my 1.5 inch strips stash for these fabrics here, and just did some crosshatch quilting, and I finished it off with a zip on the top. And I tried to be mindful of the colours and finish the zipper end blue that end and red at that end. Now I did share this on my Instagram, and I mentioned that I've made this bag. I put some nice starry lining inside, as you can see, so really cute, and some red Tilda solid fabric on the back. Now, as I said, I've mentioned on my Instagram that I've made a bit of a boo-boo with this. Really pleased with it, completely finished it, and thought, right, okay, I just need to address a little tiny problem that had occurred whilst marking out the lines to do the crosshatch quilting on. And you might be able to see a little tiny mark here. I've got one of those Clover chalk markers, so I merrily went along with this chalk marker, and it's a blue one. Did one line and thought, oh, I'm not sure how that's going to come out. Tried to rub it, didn't really want to shift, so I thought I'll get it later with a little bit of water. I did the rest of the lines with my good old friction pen, which I love, and note to self, I need to order another one because it's a bit dry now, hence trying the Clover chalk pencil. And before I make this story an epic story about the boo-boo, I applied some water to try and rub the blue out. It didn't come out completely, but what it did do was it made a big wet splodge on my project bag. So I thought, oh well, I'll give it another press and the iron will dry that out. And then I ended up with this mark on the back. There's also a little bit of Alfie hair on here. Yeah, and this will not come out, and I don't understand why. It was just literally water, not a lot of water, but it's made a mark. So that is my boo-boo on my bag. It's only for me, it's not the end of the world, but it was just a bit sad that I hadn't even put a project in it and it had that mark on it. I might give it a whiz through the washing machine and see what happens. But anyway, so that is my finished sewing object. But inside here, as you know, I was stitching along with Fat Quarter Shop on as part of the Summer Memories projects, all as part of, I can't speak today, all part of the Red, White and June sale. And last episode I was waiting for my book to arrive, and it did arrive in good time. So it's this one, Summer Memories by Susan Ockey. I'm sure you've seen it on other Flosstubes. It's such a beautiful book. If you've been sort of umming and ahhing whether you should get this or not, I would say yes, it's beautiful. You can see on the back the cross stitch projects. There's quite a lot of little cross stitch pillows and a framed piece here. This is an It's So Emma publication. But not only the cross stitch, you get the quilts as well. So there are some absolute stunners of quilts in here. I'm going to be careful how I show things because of patterns, but there's a quilt in here called, and I should have put a page marker in, shouldn't I? It's called Flag Day, and I'm trying to find the full picture of it. So it's this one here, and isn't that absolutely beautiful? So I'm gathering some fabrics together because I quite fancy having a go at that particular quilt pattern. Now, what this all is about today is the cross stitch, and I have done a couple of the designs. The first one of which is this one. And where's my board? Where is my board? Let me just rip that off there. This has got a little bit crumpled in the bag, but I think it's okay. Okay. So I've stitched it on this lovely mottled fabric. Now this light is making the mottling come out really quite a contrast. And this one is in the book, as I mentioned, which is this one here. So pretty. And I have stitched mine using all the called for Orifloss, which I just popped in a little tin. Got all my lovely colours in there, as you can see. I love using Orifloss. It's one of my absolute favourite flosses. And I'm going to finish it in a make a pillow finish. And I've got some fabric here which I think will work well. The fabric that I stitched on is 32 count burnt sugar from West Green Loft Yarns, and this is a piece of Laurie Holt fabric. I can't remember the range that it's from, and I think I'm going to use this as my finishing fabric when I make it into a pillow. So that was really fun to stitch. And I've got another one which is a work in progress, which I'll just grab. Again, also from the Summer Memories book. And this one I'm doing on an ice blue, sorry about the crease there. This is an ice blue 32 count linen. I think this was from Foxglove and Lace. And again, using the called for Orifloss. And this one in the book is not that one. It's called Freedom Flowers, and it's that one there. So again, a really pretty design. I do plan on working my way through all stitchy projects in this book because they are just so pretty. And they're quite small, they're easy to do, you get the satisfaction of a finish. You can stitch them on little, you know, scraps of linen or Ada that you've got in your stash, and just have some really pretty results. So that was one of my projects for Red, White and June. Pop that one down. And also in my, this time in my UK patriotic bag, I have got a small finish, and this is from Star Spangled Ornaments, and there are 12 designs in here, all designed with a round background, although I have seen people stitching them without the round background, and they look super cute as well. So you can just take the centre part of the design and make little pillows out of them. But I have done just one project so far. I do intend to do another one. Time is always the enemy, isn't it? And it's just this one with the heart. And this has been stitched with all the called for Classic Colourworks flosses, and I plan to finish with one of the little tart tins from Fat Quarter Shop, and I've got some gorgeous red striped ribbon even from Stitching with Housewives, and this is the 3/4 inch red ticking stripe ribbon, and it's the one that's used on the chart there. So really, really pretty. Did I tell you what fabric I stitched this on? This is a 25 count Lugana, I think it's mushroom. It's from Stash. But again, a really nice little stitch. You get a nice sense of satisfaction because you get something finished. And I've got some of the little sticky board circles, so finishing should be quite simple and straightforward. And if you care to hang around a bit later in the video, I have got 2 copies of the Star Spangled chart, which is actually a booklet form, really, really nice booklet with all 12 charts in it, and they're going to be in today's giveaways. So those are my finishes and the fully finishes. I'm just going to clear the decks a little bit, and then I think we'll move on to what else I've been stitching. Some whips. Let me get prepared because this is a biggie. This has not been out for a while, and it was definitely calling to me that it needed some work. And it's our old friend Anniversaries of the Heart, which I'm keeping in this little project bag that I made some time ago with lovely rifle paper fabric. And I've just completed chart number 5, which is Farmhouse, and I'm just starting on chart 6, which is Happy Birthday. And this one, if you can see, has got quite a few lazy daisy stitches in. All of these petals here are actually done with lazy daisy stitches, so that will be interesting when I get to that part. This, of course, is from Blackbird Designs. I haven't stitched on it in an absolute age, and I thought if I don't start stitching on it again soon, I just had that fear that it would never see the light of day again. So out it came, and I was actually, when I pulled it out, I was actually really, really close to a finish of this this farmhouse block. So all I had to do was the windows. I mean, there are a lot of windows in this house, and one of the birds and this little centre motif here. That's all I had to do to finish it. So I got on and did that. I'll just pop it a bit closer so you can see. And I've made a star on the border for the Happy Birthday block. And if I hold it back, you can see, hopefully that's, is that in shot? Yeah. You can see where we are so far. And you probably can't hear me because my voice has gone behind the board. But I still do have some personalisation to do on some of the blocks. But this one has got Emily's initials in because she has a May birthday, and this is block number 5. So that's Anniversaries from the Heart. I'm stitching it on a 30 count, I think it's pecan butter, and I think it came from Hoop and Frame, who I don't think have a UK site anymore. They used to have a UK site, but it's a huge, this is doubled over, it's a huge piece of linen. It's a little bit difficult to wrangle when you're stitching with it, but it's such a lovely stitch. The flosses that I'm using are, well, they've just got out of control basically. A lot of the called for in the charts no longer resemble what they did when these charts were designed back, I think, in about 2012, so it's a long time ago. So I've got a combination here of some overdyes, I've got Classic Colourworks, Gentle Arts, some DMCs, and then I've raided some more flosses, and I'm just sort of pulling what I think. Some of them are called for that I'm using, and sometimes I'm just matching in what I think is going to look good, and try and keep some sort of cohesion between what I've already stitched, so nothing sort of stands out like a sore thumb. So that is Anniversaries of the Heart, and I'm not going to say I'm going to do a block a month because I know it won't happen. As soon as I set myself some sort of firm goal, my brain automatically wants to do the complete opposite, so I'm not going to say that. But suffice to say that now it's been pulled out again, it is very much something that I want to stitch on, and I've been stitching along with this. I've not watched a huge amount of Flosstube lately. I've been, Justin and I have been a little bit obsessed with the series Yellowstone with Kevin Costner. I don't know if anybody is watching that or has watched it, but absolutely addicted to that TV show. It's a little bit, I thought it's like if The Sopranos and Dallas had a baby, it would be Yellowstone. It's absolutely gripping. Yeah, if you're watching it, let me know, and let me know what you think of it, but no spoilers, we're up to season 4. So but yes, so it's weird, isn't it? You stitch things and you sort of stitch memories of what you were doing at the time into your projects. So that's Anniversaries of the Heart. The next thing that I have been stitching on, well, a few stitches. I was a little bit flighty with my stitching since I saw you last. I even had a couple of little starts, the tiniest starts ever, but I will share them with you. But as I mentioned, Enzo is my grandson. He's going to be a year old at the end of July. Now, I am a bad nanny because I started a stitched piece for him before he was born, and the plan was it would be a birth gift. It would be a drum. It's this beautiful chart by Liz, hello from Liz Matthews, Parade of Elephants. I'm going to put Enzo in the banner there and drop the text there, and probably just do the actual section within the frame and turn it into a drum for him. Well, as I said, he's a year old at the end of the month, and this is as far as we've got. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because there was a deadline that I missed and now there's another deadline that I'm going to miss, or if it's the fabric that I'm not really enjoying stitching on. This is a 32 count, I think it's ivory from Zweigart. Nothing wrong with the fabric. I do struggle actually with a very plain light fabric. I do prefer a bit of mottling for some interest. Maybe that's what it is, but anyway, I'm using all the DMC for this project. There's some gorgeous shades in here, and basically I need to get on and get it stitched. But I did put a tiny bit of work into it to try and rekindle the want to stitch on it. So that's Parade of Elephants. Well, it's a parade of one elephant and a trunk at the moment. Not really much of a parade, is it? My next whip was a new start, a tiny start. This is from a chart that was a gift to me, and I'm trying to find where I put it. This is, excuse the crinkles, the AM 1918 sampler by Mrs. Flossy. Amy had kindly given this to me as a gift, and there was a giveaway last episode which I will announce the winner in a short while. And I made a tiny start, just the bottom border and a little bit of the side, and then obviously something else called to me and I moved on. This is a fabric from Paula of Eva Faith on Etsy. This is Sycamore. This is the other section of, it's at the bottom of the pile, the Happy and Glorious pillow. So this is the rest of that fabric. Beautiful mottling. And the floss I'm using is this DMC variegated, and that's colour 115, and I don't know if the camera's picking it up. It's got some really quite bright shades of red in there, and also some quite dark burgundy shades. And I'm using 2 strands stitched together, and it's actually giving a really nice, again, I don't know if the light will pick it up, it's giving a really nice effect in the stitching. And that floss was in my advent calendar from Paula last year, so that's very appropriate, I feel, to be stitching on her fabric with the floss that she gave me, and of course the lovely gifted chart from Amy. So that was my tiny start. The next tiny start, it's even tinier, is part of my tomato stitch up sal, which is a very relaxed stitch along. Please feel free to join in if you would like. And I'm just stitching anything with a tomato on, basically. I'm going to share my floss, just grabbing my flosses from my bag so I can show you what I'm using. Everything's a little bit of a tangle in here. Okay, so what I'm stitching is Tomato by Hands On Design, and of course it's 2 pieces, so there's the bottom of the tray here and the tomato itself. So I've made a start on the tray. Didn't I do well? Just the top row. It's a bit of a band sampler really, and you can see this gorgeous fabric. This is also from Paula at Eva Faith. This is called Moonspell, a gorgeous mottled grey, and I'm using all the called for, which are mostly Weeks Dye Works. The sun's coming out now, so I'm probably shadowing myself. Mostly Weeks Dye Works here, and there is a Classic Colourworks, which is Stepping Stones, and I do have the Weeks Dye Works, so this is Aztec Red when I stitch the tomato. So that's that little tiny start there. Pop that one away. I couldn't really settle on one thing, which yeah, is kind of typical for me really. Okay, and the final thing that I've been stitching on is the Bountiful Sal from Fat Quarter Shop. This is the Make-A-Wish charity stitch along for this year, and part 1 was the border all the way round, part 2, part 3, part 4, I'm a little bit behind, I need to get those butterflies on, they'll be the same as those, so here, and then part 5 will be another motif, the same as this over here, and then the gorgeous cross of flowers and leaves, which I will show you now. It's not too late to join in. The chart is free. Flosses are in this gorgeous Bountiful box. You just need to make a donation to Make-A-Wish. These are the gorgeous, vibrant sunshine colours of Bountiful, and I am stitching mine on a 32 count Lugana in a balm check, which I think works really, really well. But I am a little bit behind schedule on that one. I think that's all the stitching that I've been up to. So I'm going to just move this out of the way, and that. Okay, excuse me while I just throw that down there. Okay, I'm going to move on to announce some giveaway winners from last episode. And I'm going to have to read the names out because I did forget to take the screenshots of the winners. But hopefully you'll forgive me. So Amy of Mrs. Flossy offered one of you a downloadable PDF chart from her Etsy shop, and she will get in touch with you and send you your email you your chart. And the winner of that is Enchanting Stitching. So if you are Enchanting Stitching, that's your YouTube handle, please drop me an email in the description box below, or the email is in the description box below. Drop me an email and let me know the email address you'd like your chart to be sent to, and I'll pass that on to Amy and she will send it to you. Then we had some gorgeous charts and quilting patterns from Fat Quarter Shop. Without further ado, the winners of those are the Beatrice the Chicken from the Chicken Club from Laurie Holt, is Heather Ellis. So Heather Ellis, congratulations to you. The winner of the April Stackables, again from It's So Emma, is Mel Patton. So congratulations, Mel. The Sweet Laurel, which is from the Stitch Quarterly Club, has been won by Jean Grandel, or Grandel, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, Jean, but you are the winner of that chart. And there were two gorgeous quilt patterns designed by Kim Deal and published by It's So Emma, these two here, and these have been won by Crafty Kate. So Kate, if you can drop me an email as well. All our winners, congratulations. Please email me in, as you find in the description box below. Drop me your addresses. Enchanting Stitches, let me know your email address and we'll get all your prizes out to you as soon as possible. I'm a little bit behind on posting prizes from the last episode, so please do bear with me, but you will all get your prizes. We'll do some more giveaways in a little while. Now, I don't know if anybody who watches Flosstube needs to know this. I'm hoping you all do, but Laurie Holt is back with her Flosstube. She hasn't been away, excuse me, I've got hair flying around from the breeze. She hasn't been away, she's always been on Flosstube, I think almost every week with her quilting videos, lots of sew-alongs. I know she's a very busy lady, but she delighted us all with her return to Flosstube last week, and it absolutely made my day. Really fangirled a lot when I saw that Laurie was back with a video, and much enabling. She's been away from Flosstube for about 6 months, and there was a massive catch up on all the things she'd finished, had framed, was working on, plans, all of that good stuff, and it was just a joy to behold. And like anybody else that's watched it, I'm sure you know, we've all been inspired. So what that has inspired me to do is I've kitted up a project that it's been on the back burner for a very, very, very long time. I popped it in my bag that I made and stitched with a hands-on design chart using Laurie's fabrics. And Laurie had mentioned that she is considering making a start on Never Let You Go by hands-on design, by Heartstring Samplery. I do apologise. And this is a gorgeous chart, and it is the verse that gets you hook, line and sinker. I'll read it to you. It says, I wish I was a little seed, I'd grow and grow and grow, I'd twine myself around your heart and never let you go. It is so sweet. It's just such just a beautiful little verse on there. Now this was something that I planned to stitch There's a theme here, isn't there? Things I plan to stitch for certain occasions and it just doesn't happen. I plan to stitch this as a wedding sampler for Justin and I. We got married in April of last year. Then I thought I'd stitch it for a first wedding anniversary. Well, that's come and gone. But I thought, well, if Laurie makes a start on this and I can see her progress, then surely I want to be a part of that, don't I? So I thought, okay, let's at least get it kitted up and then we'll be ready to go. So I have bought some, this is just some 36 count vintage country mocha that I picked up from the Wool Warehouse here in the UK. Really good for pre-cuts of Zweigart fabric. So of course we all know what that looks like. And I've got all the called for flosses here ready to go. They are mostly gentle arts. We've got avocado, tarnished gold, Grecian gold, wood rose. I love this colour. Whoopsie, it's wood rose there. Pomegranate, again another favourite, really pretty. Nice variegation on that skein. Picnic basket, that's not a full skein, so I'm hoping I've got enough there. Caramel or caramel corn, not sure. It says caramel on the tag, but caramel on the chart. Endive, Otter Creek, I love this, not seen this one before. Beautiful variegation. And then there's 3 little cheeky Weeks dye works at the rear, which are honeysuckle, skinny dip, and what's this little one, tarragon. So some really gorgeous flosses there, which I think are going to look lovely on that vintage country mocha. So that is a little plan, and that's something that I, sort of a little bit of haul really, because I bought the flosses and the fabric ready for that one. And another plan that I have is, what have I, oh okay, I'm getting confused. Let's backtrack on that. Okay, another little bit of haul, well, making up kits, kitting projects up is actually one of my favourite things to do. This is living in one of my gingham on the go bags from Fat Quarter Shop, and I've shared this chart with you before, but as I said, I've been gathering supplies together. This is the Black Cat sampler from With Thy Needle and Thread, Brenda Gervais, and he is the cutest thing ever. I think he is just the cheekiest looking little Halloween cat with his little hat and his little ruffle around his neck. So far I have got, well, I think I've got most of the things. He stitched on a 30 count fabric, and I wanted to make sure the sizing was right because there's a template in the chart and I wanted to make sure it was right. So I've got a 30 count Weeks Dye Works Onyx. I got this from 123 Stitch. It's quite flimsy floppy, but I'm sure it will be fine. And then I have got the DMC flosses, which are the called for, and here they are. Just show you the lovely flosses. There's a little purple in there as well. And that's not black, that's 3371, which is very, very, very dark brown, sort of like an espresso colour. And then I was thinking about, I'm already thinking about finishing, because this is the way my mind works. Not even started the stitching yet and I'm thinking of the finishing. So I'm thinking about the little hat, which is made with some wool, and the fabric of the ruffle, which I think there is an orange, and it's an orange fabric with a white polka dot. So I'm thinking this fabric here, which is a Laurie Holt from the Gingham's collection. What was the name of it? I can't remember the name of the collection, but you know the one, the Gingham's one that was fairly recent. I'm thinking that for the ruffle around the neck. And then I picked up this fabric, which I haven't opened yet. This was from Patchwork Rabbit. and it's some Weeks Dye Works wool, and this is called Cactus. It's like a herringbone, or a hound's, not a herringbone, a houndstooth check. It's not the exact colour of the green that they have for the hat in the picture on the front, but I'm wondering if it will work. I'm not sure it will. It's quite the light isn't great here, but it's sort of more like a tealy green, but we'll see if it works. If not, it can live to fight another day in something else, I'm sure. So that was really good fun to get that all kitted up and good to go. So I'll pop that one away. Sorry about all the crinking. And next I'd like to share with you, the giveaways are all falling off the table now, some plans for July. And there is going to be a mystery stitch along from Fat Quarter Shop, and this is a free it's a free mystery stitch along, which is the evergreen. And I've got some details here on the supplies sheet. If you go to Fat Quarter Shop and search for evergreen, this will come up and you can download the supply sheet already. It doesn't start until the 11th of July when part 1 will be released. It's going to be in 4 monthly parts. So you can see a little sneaky peek here. Beautiful finishing, but there's a little peek of the stitching here. And I've been getting some supplies together. So what have I got? Okay, there is a floss pack, and this is the classic Colourworks Mystery Evergreen Stitch Along thread pack. And they do give you a conversion here on your supplies list. They give you a conversion to DMC. So if you want to get some DMC out of your stash, you can do that and stitch along the same. Let me show you these colours. These are super pretty, especially when they're all in that twist. Don't they look amazing? So the colourways are ribbon red is the red. Then we have got cherry tomato, so ribbon red and cherry tomato. I like those two together, that gives real depth, doesn't it? Then we have got 2 skeins of cobbled peach. Then we have 1 skein of queen bee. And 2 of little sprout. And finally 2 of steamed broccoli. Now I don't know about you, I'm kind of getting a bit of a hint from the amount of green that's in this about what some of this mystery could be that we're going to be stitching. I've chosen some fabric, and the fabric that I've chosen from my stash is a Zweigart 32 count raw linen with the silver fleck in it, which is not cooperating. I don't know if you can see it, but it's the silver fleck, which I think will be really pretty. I'm going to try and put some of these flosses on here so you can see. I think they're going to play really nicely on here and make a really nice festive looking project. And there is also available, if I can find it, a special needle minder, which is like a little present, which says Merry and Bright on it. So really looking forward to that starting on the 11th of July. It's nice to get some Christmas stitching done. I know it's, you know, beautiful and sunny and it's the last thing on your mind, but it's nice to make a start on some Christmas projects, even if it's just for 1 month. So do join in with that if you would like. The other thing that I have got in mind to possibly make a start on in July is a new chart that came out just yesterday on Teresa Kogat's Patreon, and it's this one that caught my eye, and this is Dear Santa. and I like this one because it's not too big. It's 95 by 95 stitches, and I like that it's Santa but with a little sort of cross stitchy theme to it. It's got scissors and needle, it's got a skein of DMC, there's a bobbin of thread there. Yeah, really, really cute, and the hoop with the 25 in. So that's definitely something that I'd like to make a start on in July. I'm going to show you some goodies now that I have received from Fat Quarter Shop this month. I can grab those, and then I'll share a few bits from my haul since I saw you last. Okay, so these are all courtesy of Fat Quarter Shop, and as I mentioned earlier, I have got 2 copies of Star Spangled Ornaments to give away. 12 designs, booklet format, gives you all the charts in here, really nice big clear coloured charts, all your information on the back about your thread colours. You can stitch it on the Lugana if you want to finish in the tart tins and get the same sort of size, or finish them however you like. They are just so cute. So there are 2 copies of this chart. Then there is also this really cute, really super cute. I love these. I suppose there's no reason why I couldn't stitch these, but I feel they would be better in an American home. So this is the Patriotic Typeface series, and these are super cute because they are small pillows. You can see them in a dough bowl here. They finish at, they are just 70 stitches by 70 stitches, and if they're on 14 count Ada, they finish at 5 by 5 inches. Super cute, super achievable, just adorable. Really, really love these. And some other charts that have been sent. We are now on number 3 of the Simply Signs pattern series with Summertime. Gorgeous sort of watermelon vibes, I think, in the colours they've chosen. In the pinks they've chosen to stitch this one in. So this is a series, and this is stitched on Kimberly's Mint 14 count Ada by Fabric Flair. A really nice, so it's got almost like a watermelon vibe. So that's new as well. The Chicken Club keeps on rolling. This is number 5 of 12. This is of course from Laurie Holt, and this is Hank, and Hank is a handsome fella. So that's also new this month. And stackables, we are now into May with the stackables. I mean, you have to bear in mind these take a little bit of while to get to me, a little while because I'm in the UK. But this series has been a really good one this year. Love the bee on that, really pretty with the flowers. So May stackables is also new. I'd like to give away a couple of these charts. 2 copies of Star Spangled Ornaments. So if you would like to win a copy of Star Spangled Ornaments, I've written the word on here so I don't forget. Please use the word star in your comment below. And if you would like to win the Patriotic Typeface series, please use the word patriotic in your comment below, and I will announce winners on the next episode. The other charts will be featuring in giveaways in the future. That just leads me to share with you some of my haul that I've acquired since I saw you last. Now I did have a back ordered chart with 1, 2, 3 stitch. I bought from Market Releases the Sting Like a Bee by Heartstring Samplery, and this is the companion chart, which is Afloat from Plum Street Samplers. So that one popped through my letterbox. I'd forgotten all about it, so that was a really nice little surprise. You've probably all seen this, and I love that this is all stitched in DMC. So that chart arrived. Then while I was buying my vintage country mocha Zweigart for Never Let You Go, I thought I'd have a little wander through the fabrics. They also do quilting fabrics on Wool Warehouse, and I bought a little selection. It's not always easy to buy fabric online, is it, for projects, but I was thinking of the flag quilt in Summer Memories book, so but I don't know if some of those reds are going to be a bit too red, and the navy, but it's fine. The first 4 are Liberty, and I think this one is a French General. But really nice fat quarters, always handy for pillows and project bags and just to look pretty in the sewing room. So those arrived. I then have had 2 Fabric of the Month deliveries since I saw you last. I'm going to take this one out of the bag, so please forgive me because I haven't taken it out of the bag yet. This first one is from Fabrics by Crafty Kate, and this one is, I don't think it has a name, it's just the June Fabric of the Month, and I get a 36 count fat quarter, and it's this gorgeous, like a peony pink, really pretty. So that one arrived, and I'm starting to get quite a nice little stash of fabric now. That was always my thing. I had a lot of charts and other bits and pieces, but I was always struggling for fabric. Now, you know I'm a huge fan of Vykky at West Green Loft Yarns and her beautiful hand-dyed linens, and I do belong to the Linen Fabric of the Month Club. But when I saw Vykky's inspiration picture on Instagram, because she does flossies as well, and I tend to just restrict myself. It's hard, but I restrict myself to the fabric. When I saw the flossies as well this month, I just rushed to see if I could get those as well. Her inspiration was a very vintagey looking American flag, and the fabric this month is called Liberty. And let me just take this band. It's always packaged so beautifully. I don't even want to use it because it's too gorgeous. Look at this fabric. It's like a denim sort of chambray. It's really beautiful. Again, this is a 36 count linen that I get, a fat quarter. I like to get a fat quarter. It keeps my options open, I feel, for whatever project I might like to do. And the flossies are called Star Spangled Banner, and of course they are absolutely stunning. The 2 blues, the faded red, the sort of faded magenta, and the sort of ivory white on the end, and those with the fabric, just gorgeous. There's a link down below if you want to pop to Vykky's shop and have a look at her beautiful things. So that was a delight to receive, as always. And then final few bits and pieces. Again, this is Laurie Holt's fault. She showed her finishes of the Garden Club series by Blackbird Designs, and I'm not in a position to buy all the charts at the moment, but I thought, well, I'm going to make a start and buy chart number 1 of the Garden Club series, which is Basket of Cherries. And how gorgeous is that? Just so pretty. I really like the fact that obviously you can stitch this as a little, you know, framed piece. You can stitch it as a pillow, or you can do as they suggest and stitch the Garden Club series, and then they are sewn together. And I think that's what Laurie's going to do with hers. And the fact that they're all on different linens, I think, is just so clever and such a really nice eclectic look. So I was planning to start mine on, this is another piece of Vykky's linen. This is Burnt Sugar. This is the one that I stitched my cherry season on from Summer Memories. But I thought, how pretty would that look on there? I'm just going to pull flossies from stash. Again, this is not as old as Anniversaries of the Heart, but it's still 2015. So some of those Gentle Arts, and I think it's all Gentle Arts this calls for. I think some of those dye lots might be a little bit different, so I'm just going to use the image as my guide, and I'm sure I can come up with something really pretty for that. Completely incongruous to the last design is this Woof block party from Hands On Design. I saw that Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch a while ago. She made the Meow block party, which was super cute. But I thought in honour of my little man, I would do the woof one. I'm just sad that I bought these couple of charts from Peakside Needleworks. I'm just a bit sad that the woof pins from Just Another Button Company are sold out. So I'll have to have a little wander around the internet and see if I can find those. And that, of course, comes with this little piece of wool in the chart, which I think is really helpful. And I'm always picking up a piece of Lady Dot Creates velveteen, and this is Bittersweet. I just think it's handy to have in stash for finishes. So those are my purchases. We've done the giveaways. I think I'm all caught up for today. I hope I've not been too rambly, but it's been great to share everything with you. And I will just see if I can go and get Alfie now and see if he will play ball. So just hold it right there. Have you just eaten all the treats? Alfie, look, who's that? So here he is, wiggly as ever. I thought you were tired. Are you going to sit? Are you going to sit? Alfie, what's this? Just jiggle the camera. What's this? Look. Look. You're going to say goodbye to everybody? He's too wiggly. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.